You can roughly locate any community in the world, somewhere along a scale running all the way from democracy to despotism.
I hated watching this stuff in civics class, but boy, do I miss it now.
When a competent observer looks for signs of despotism in a community, he looks beyond fine words and noble phrases.
USA! USA!
As a community moves towards despotism, common courtesy is withheld from large groups of people on account of their race.
You're a fucking piece of shit, you fucking spit.
Nasty fucking nigger.
Are you a citizen?
Yes, I am a citizen.
Are you a United States citizen?
Can you please get away from me?
Then you should not be
Can you please get away from me?
I hate you fucking Chinese fuck.
Excuse me.
Put your hands on me one more time, motherfucker. Hey. You should get in that fucking Jewish oven and die like your ass.
The fuck?
Fuck you and you nigger fucking people. Okay? Get the fuck out of my country.
Or because they don't like a man's religion.
Is there a Muslim problem in the world?
Absolutely. Christianity is under tremendous siege. It's death by a million cuts. We are getting less and less and less powerful in terms of a religion and in terms of a force.
If a community's middle-income groups grow smaller, the likelihood of despotism is increased.
I make $7.30 an hour. I only get 17 hours a week. It's shit. Everything around here is.
Mr. President! Mr. President!
And when citizens have to accept what they're told.
The media. You mean fake news?
Well,
Despotism stands a good chance.
Sleazy people.
Crooked media.
The media has been unbelievably dishonest.
The most dishonest groups of people I've ever met. But I'd never kill them. I hate them. I would never kill them. I would never do that. That's sick. No, I wouldn't. Wait, let's see. I want to find a friendly reporter.
Questions are not encouraged.
Don't ask me questions like that. You're not a very good reporter doing that.
How can you ask such a question?
Do you have a question that now is a legitimate question?
How dare you question the fact?
I guess I don't understand. If the information coming from those leaks is real, then how can the stories be fake?
The reporting is fake.
And if books and newspapers and the radio are efficiently controlled...
Sit down. Sit down. Sit down.
I have the right to ask the question. I'm a reporter and don't touch me, sir. Don't touch me, sir.
The people will read and accept exactly what the few in control want them to.
But it must be true. I saw it in this book right here.
Now that's what I call a nice question.
What I say goes, see? I'm the law around here.
I'm president and they're not.
He knows what he's doing. It's the same thing that authoritarians and fascists have done in the past. You need to make sure that when charges of corruption or other wrongdoing come forth, nobody believes the judiciary.
We're the only country, essentially, that has judges.
The intelligence services.
The corruption at the top of the FBI.
The press.
Fake news.
You need to make sure that they are discredited.
What you're seeing and what you're reading is not what's happening.
People believe him, and this is, of course, puzzling to many of his critics, but if the strong man, the authoritarian, has done his job, he has bonded people to him a long time ago. And this Trump was doing that with his rallies and his loyalty oaths.
Should we do the pledge? Raise your right hand. Do you pledge that on Tuesday you will go to vote for Donald Trump tomorrow? Raise that hand. I love you. I love you.
People don't care if he's lying. They believe in him, and that's more important than believing the truth.
You've been hearing me say it's a rigged system, but now I don't say it anymore because I won. Okay? It's true. Now I don't care. I don't care.
The founders thought this thing's going to last a decade, a few decades. We'll be lucky if it's a few generations. Democracy means ruled by the people, and if the people aren't asserting themselves, then democracy will go away. And whether it's to some drastic form like fascism, or whether it's to some form where, yeah, we keep voting, but fewer of us are allowed to vote every year, and there's some kind of emergency statute, or the money just makes the voting basically a joke, which is unfortunately where we're tending anyway. Whether it's one or the other, there's so much to lose.
Thank you very much. You folks are in here. Place is packed. There are lines that go back 6 blocks There is such love in this country for everything we stand for. You saw that on Election Day, and you're going to see it more and more. So we're all part of this very historic movement, a movement the likes of which, actually, the world has never seen before.
Often the move is to say, you're making a comparison to Hitler. It's not a perfect comparison, and therefore, let's throw all of history out. Whereas what I would say is, of course, the comparison's not perfect. No comparison's ever perfect. History doesn't repeat. But history is this huge resource of patterns. It's this huge resource of structures. It's a way to try to get your bearings in a moment like the present one where we're not really sure what's going on.
They were one of the greatest liberal democracies in the world. They were the first country to have universal health care for all citizens. They not only invented the printing press, they read more books than any other country, and it was not unusual for each of their cities to have a dozen daily newspapers, a robust free press. And they made the best movies. The art, the culture, the science, they were considered the most intelligent people on earth. In November of 1932, they elected an immigrant, an Austrian, to be their leader. He had no political experience. He didn't talk like a regular politician. He just told it like it is. It was so refreshing. Women loved him. Children were always excited to see him. Oh, and he loved animals.
Look what Hitler dines on. Not even soup for the ascetic vegetarian. Just a couple of crackers for a victory banquet.
He told jokes, he told stories. He was a great dancer. He talked about putting Germany first. And when German football players disrespected the national anthem, they were punished. He talked about creating jobs for everyone. He built roads and infrastructure and camps. He knew how to use the new media, radio, newsreels, and in 1935, he started his own TV network 4 years before Americans were introduced to television.
Heil Hitler!
He even knew how to use fake news.
Im Lager Juden von verschiedenen Berufen haben die Gelegenheit, ihr Berufsleben wieder aufzunehmen.
Oh, how the crowds flocked to see him. But his Nazi party only won 32% of the seats in parliament, which the Germans called the Reichstag. The popular vote was won by Germany's left liberal parties. Hitler wanted more. A few weeks after his inauguration, there was a terrorist incident. Somebody set the German parliament building, the Reichstag, on fire. Many believed it was the Nazis who did it in order to create a national emergency. But Hitler blamed the Communists. The Communist Party was banned, and their seats in Parliament taken away. The liberals were vanquished, and the public supported Adolf Hitler, taking complete control.